Hey guys! Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back by request. It's been requested for me on Snapchat to do a highlight 101 video for forever now, because I guess you guys like my highlights. So I thought I would just get to it, have my first video be something that you guys wanted to watch, and here it is. So if you guys would like to see what I use to apply my highlight, how I apply my highlight, my collection and my favorites, then please keep on watching. So first things first, I want to talk about the different brushes that I use to apply my highlight. Yes, these are all highlight brushes, but no, I do not use all of these. I will probably just show you guys my 3-4 ones that I use and then just tell you about those, because those are the ones that are really good and that I think you should have. Okay, so these four are the 4 brushes that I reach for the most, and you will notice that they're all more or less the same kind of teardrop shape, just with different, like, tapered differently. So let's get into them. So the very first brush that I ever used to highlight is the Real Techniques setting brush. This brush is amazing. It's super cheap, it's really robust, really sturdy, it doesn't shed any hairs. And I think this is the perfect brush for like a beginner learning how to do their highlight, because it doesn't apply too much product at once, but you can build it up really easily. So what I like about this one is because it's kind of flat, as you can see, it's not rounded, it's flat and tapers in. It applies product really easily. But this one, I've noticed that the best way to apply a highlight with this is kind of in like buffing motions, whereas with the others I kind of just do a side to side. But because of its flatter shape, I like to do a bit of a swirling buffing motion, and it works really well. The next 3 are all by Morphe. I am subscribed to their subscription boxes every month, and one month they went crazy and only sent us highlighter brushes. So don't be surprised that they're all Morphe, because I think they're the best brushes that I own for highlighting. So let's get into these. The first one that I tried was from the Jaclyn Hill subscription box. This is the M501, and this is a super fluffy, I don't know if it's synthetic or natural hair. I'm gonna assume that it's synthetic just because it's black. I'm not entirely sure, I'll look that up, but this is your classic teardrop shape brush, and I really like this one. When I first used it, I was so impressed with it. I was so surprised. I'm like, this is the best highlighting brush you're ever gonna come across. It applies product really evenly and really lightly, but I would say if you're a beginner and don't know how to place your highlight, it covers more of a wider surface area, so either be very careful and make sure you only use the tip of it right there, or if you're a pro and you know how to do your highlight and you love doing really intense highlight, then just go for it. But I would, if you're a beginner, I would recommend the Real Techniques one. And then move on to this one. The next one also came in the Jaclyn Hill favorites box, and this is the M438. This one is very tapered. This is almost like a candle flame shape. It's super tapered compared to this one. This is a classic teardrop. This one's a classic teardrop. This is more of like a candle flame. And this one's very good for beginners because it's a bit stiffer than the other one, so it doesn't get all over the place, and because of its tapered end, you can really pinpoint your highlight and get it like under control, and it applies it perfectly right there. So this one's really good, and I think all of these are under $10, $15, more around there. I'm not entirely sure since I got these in a subscription box, but this one I really like for precise application. I don't use this one that much because the next one is my favorite, but this one's a pretty good one. And last but not least, for my highlighting brushes, this is one of the best brushes I've ever used, bar none. This is the M510. Jeffree Star and Manny MUA talk about this one all the time as their holy grail highlighting brush, and I like it because it's kind of a mix of all 3 of these. It has a tapered end just like the M438, so it can pinpoint, but it's fluffy enough like the M501 to really buff the product on properly, and it just applies it beautifully. I use this one for the demo, so you'll see that in a minute, but it applies a very good quantity of product without overdoing it too much at the first go. You can build it up easily, but it doesn't give you like a sheer application on one go. You can totally just dip in once and just go for it and be good to go. but you don't look crazy from the first swipe. That's what I'm trying to say, basically. And I'm still in love with this. The thing that I love about this brush that I feel no other brush does is it can actually apply a pretty good nose highlight. I feel like the other brushes lose a lot of product when you're trying to do your nose and you end up with like barely anything. So that's what I was really impressed with this one. When I tried it out for my nose, it applied it perfectly and like a good enough amount where I felt like I didn't need to go in with my finger. So love this. Okay, so for the sake of this video, so you can really see what I'm doing, I'm gonna use Urban Decay's Sin Highlighter, which looks like this. And this one by itself is a little light for me, but it's perfect for me to show you guys because you'll be able to see what I'm doing. So the first step that I do is I make sure I have no hair on my face. And I angle my face towards the light, and then you can see exactly where the light hits. And basically that's where you aim to put the highlighter. So using the Morphe M510, which is my favorite brush right now, I'm going to dip it a couple times. And I like to make sure that my brush is really saturated in product. And you angle your face, and you just start slowly windshield wiping it on bit by bit. And depending on where you like your highlight, I usually go all the way up right above my brow, just because I think when it catches the light it looks beautiful. Again, angling my face, and just in this part here I just sweep it into like a C motion, but on my actual cheekbone I wipe from side to side like that. And that's pretty much it. If it looks too stark and too much of a line, then you can just blend it out slightly by like swirling the brush a bit, as if you were blending an eyeshadow basically. And there you go. That's it. It's super easy. On to the other side, angle and windshield wipe from side to side. You can go in as many times as you like, depending on how intense of a highlight you like. I like my highlights really intense. I like to make sure that aliens can see me glow from outer space. And then just C formation. Get formation. Like that. For my nose, before finding this brush, I would just do it with my fingers because I felt like brushes did nothing. But with this brush, if I just like really lightly rub it in and just rub from side to side, it does the job pretty well. And I just have to go in a couple times. A new trick I learned is if you have a flat bridge like I do, just pop some on. As you can see, my nose is pretty flat over here, so I just put some on right here and it catches the light and it looks very beautiful. See? And of course, you can also do your Cupid's bow. I don't do this all the time because I don't feel like it does anything for me because I have a really flat, undefined Cupid's bow, like my, oh, I know the word for this, my nasal columns, my nasal labial columns, these things right here, they don't stand out that much, so I don't really do it often. I feel like I just look like I have a highlight mustache. But that's pretty much it. Now you are ready to go and slay the world with your highlight. Onto my collection of highlights. I have to say something. I am a limited edition whore. I'm very sad to tell you that well, not most of these, but the prettiest of my highlighters are limited edition, and my favorites are limited edition, but there's a lot of dupes out there that you can find, so don't worry about it. So I store all my compact highlighters in this Muji drawer, and let's just get into it. So first off, I have two from Becca. I have the infamous Opal. We all know what this looks like. It's like a champagne-y pink, but it has like a very interesting color to it. It's not just champagne. It kind of has like a pinky champagne, peachy, kind of gray almost. If you like compare it to other colors, it's almost gray. This one I got it was the most intense highlight that I owned, and I was so in love with it. I still love it, but I kind of discovered highlight that I prefer to this one. It blends out and it's really pretty. It's not overly metallic, but I kind of like the overly metallic look, so this is why I've kind of abandoned this one, but it's still really beautiful for day to day for me. The first Becca highlighter that I got is rose gold. When I first got this, I was like, this is perfect, this is beautiful, because it was my very first highlighter, so I didn't know any better. It's beautiful, but I don't know if I would use it as a highlight anymore because it's very pink. I'm an NC30 skin tone. You guys are not gonna see that for shit. I'm an NC30 skin tone, and this on me could be a blush topper, so I can only imagine this would be really good for like NC40 and up, or like NW40 and up, because it's pretty like intensely colored. It's not very opalescent. Not enough to be a highlighter, at least. Not in my books. I'm gonna go in order of purchase. So the next highlighter that I got was the Bobbi Brown Shimmer Brick in Copper Diamond. Limited edition. I'm sorry guys, you can't get this anymore, but I'm sure there's 100 dupes for this. It looks like this. As I'm sure you all know, shimmer bricks come with this layout. It has 5 different colored strips, and then you can either use them individually as eyeshadows or whatever you like, or what I do is I just swirl them all together and it creates this really beautiful gold shade right there. See, compare that to the Becca ones below. It is super metallic and super intense, and that is why I stopped using the Becca ones. But it is really beautiful. Great placement of the swatch, I must say. It is really beautiful. I think it's not very hard to dupe though, because it is just a gold shade. I'm sure there's 100 dupes out there for it. You could probably find one on Temptalia, because that's where I get all my dupes, and yeah. Next one that I bought is something that I bought because when the Extra Dimension skin finishes from MAC came out all those years ago and Whisper of Guilt came out, I wasn't as into makeup back then, so I didn't feel the need to buy it. But now, being a makeup addict and a makeup artist, I regret every single day in my life not having the chance to get that. So when Oh Darling came out, I knew I had to get it. Funny story is, I was stalking my MAC stores and my counters for this collection to come out, and no one knew when it was coming out. One day I was in like the department store and I passed by the MAC counter and it was there, and I was like, no, it's probably sold out. I was so sad. So I rushed to the woman. I'm like, excuse me, do you still have any Oh Darlings left? She's like, the collection just came out now. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, it had released that day and I just happened to be there. So I bought one and I reserved the second one thinking I was gonna go in and buy it, but then I never did. Which I don't mind that I didn't, because even though this is probably my favorite highlighter, it's really easily dupable. Like, I know for a fact that Kiko has an eyeshadow. The 208 Water eyeshadow by Kiko is a dupe for this. So I'm not worried that I'll run out of this anytime soon, A, and then B, if I do, then I can just go buy the Kiko eyeshadow. But it is beautiful. It is super metallic, super reflective, and I wish I was wearing it right now. Next, I bought these two together. This is Benefit's What's Up. I got this because Luxe, or Katie, always uses this in her videos under powder highlighters, and I was like, wow, I need to get that. It is beautiful. I'm not saying it's not. It's right there. As you can see, it's much more pink than the Oh Darling, and it's a cream finish, obviously. It is beautiful, but because it's a cream, I feel like it cakes up underneath my highlight unless I'm only wearing foundation that day, and a very light foundation without setting it. That's the only time I feel like I can wear this. Otherwise, I feel like it looks so caked on that I don't reach for it. But if I find that I'm only wearing foundation that day and I'm not setting it with powder, I will go in with this and it looks very beautiful. So yeah, what's up? That same day, I was passing by Too Faced and I saw this highlighter. This is their Candlelight Glow in Warm Glow. Now I know that they have the original one, the pink one, but I didn't know that they came out with a new one with like a second color. And this one is really nice. This is perfect for beginners that don't want a very intense highlight because it's more of a satin finish, not so much metallic. I'll show you now compared to Oh Darling and you'll see what I mean. So it has two different colors. It has a pinkier side and a light gold side. So that is Warm Glow. As you can see, it's not as reflective as Oh Darling, but you can still see it and it still provides a really nice glow, just not as intense. So if you or someone you know is looking for a beautiful highlight that's not too subtle but not too flashy or metallic, I would highly suggest this one because the formula is really good. This one lasts really long as well. Like I've noticed when I wore this for the first time, I noticed that it didn't fade. And it's very beautiful on the skin without looking too done. Then my latest purchases in the compacts. I bought these more or less around the same time. This is Sin by Urban Decay. I'm wearing this right now. I showed you guys in the demo. I feel like this one on its own is a bit too light for me. Like it doesn't glow as much as I want it to. Like it's a bit too pale. But right now I'm loving it mixed. It's like it makes my perfect highlighter shade, mixing Sin with Bronze Glow from Bobbi Brown. Because the Bobbi Brown one is too dark. Like when I apply it, it looks great when I'm looking at it from the side, but as soon as I turn my face forward, you can see the patches of the highlighter where it has like a brown base and it looks like I have like a smear of brown right here. So the other day I tried mixing them together since I think this one's too light and this one's too dark. I mixed them together and they create the most beautiful highlight for my skin. I don't mind having to mix highlighters. Highlighting is probably my favorite step in makeup besides doing my lips. So I don't mind having to go the extra step in mixing them. So that's it for my individual compacts. Then we go on to the Big Kahuna. This is my Love Luxe Beauty custom palette, and inside, as you can probably guess, it houses my Love Luxe Beauty highlighters. Look at those babies, not these. This gap is kind of annoying me, but I think I know what I'm gonna fill it with. But they're just so beautiful. So Love Luxe Beauty is an indie company that is owned by a friend of mine actually, and she was kind enough to send me some of these. I bought some of these with my own money, but she sent most of them over. She sent me 5. She sent me 5 of these. I bought 4 of them with my own money. Okay. The reason why I bought these Love Luxe highlighters is because of this shade. Sadly, it's discontinued, but I thought I'd tell you about it anyway. This is a shade called Make Believe, and this looks exactly like ColourPop's Monster. It's that kind of white color that reflects pink. If I can show you on my hand. I'll try to do a heavy swatch so you can see it because I know my camera will blow it out, but okay. I don't know if you can tell, but it's a very white, pale base, but with pink reflect. And I love that look on the skin. I don't know why. A lot of people think it's a weird look. It's kind of like the new Pat McGrath highlighter, the nude one, I think. I think it's the nude one. I'm not entirely sure. The one that like is very pink and violet, like reflecting. I just think that when you wear this on top of a light pink blush, it looks so stunning and it looks so different. So that was the one that I knew I wanted to buy, but because I didn't want to pay shipping for just one highlighter, I also threw in Imaginary, and this is probably my favorite shade from hers. This is probably my favorite even before Make Believe because it has the same kind of pinky reflect to it, but with more peach in it, and this looks so beautiful on the skin. It's stunning. You're not going to be able to see that, sadly. Ooh, no. I already had to repress you once. Okay. The highlighter just tried to make a jump for it, but I saved it. This is probably my favorite one because it looks amazing on my skin tone. It looks so beautiful. I get compliments on it every single time I wear it, without a doubt. Like, it's my most complimented highlighter. Like, even normal highlights, people always comment on my highlight and how like bright it is, brighter than my future. But Imaginary has to be the most unique highlighter that I own. This is what mermaids are made of. It's one of the most beautiful things I own. Not just highlighter, but like, it's so beautiful. It kind of has like fish scale. It has a fish scale print embossed in it. And it's a pale green with reflects of gold, and it has specks of purple and blue in it. That's what it looks like. This one looks really cool on the skin. It doesn't look overly green or anything, but it's super cool. Like, I wore this for the first time last week and it looked so dope that I kind of went crazy and I put it all over my face. If you guys are interested in crazy colored highlighters and highlighters that are highly metallic and super fun, then I would highly suggest you check out Luxe Beauty, because she has the most amazing colors, and even the more natural ones look amazing too. So I love her stuff. And she also makes custom palettes, which are really awesome. I love mine. I keep my highlights on fleek. I made that joke on Snapchat, and I don't know why I'm making it here, because I wanted to kill myself right after making it. If you guys don't follow me on Snapchat, here you go, and Instagram, here you go. But yeah, guys, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and loved it and found it useful and helpful. Please suggest what else you'd like to see from me, and yeah, please like if you liked, subscribe if you liked, and I'll see you next time. Bye!